Hi everybody, it's Casey Williams. Well, we had to know that replacing the last generation of the Jeep Grand Cherokee was never going to be easy. It was co-developed with the Mercedes M-Class, and it really felt like a German SUV. But there was space to make it a little bit larger, add a third row, and really beef up the styling. And that's exactly what Jeep did for the 2021 model. So let's go have a look at the Overland edition of the 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Well, that's sort of a modern day replacement for the 1980s Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Jeep is coming out with a brand new Grand Wagoneer for 2022. But that vehicle, honestly, based on the Ram platform, is really too big and just too in your face to really kind of inherit the spirit of the original Grand Wagoneer. I really think the new Grand Cherokee is much closer to the Grand Wagoneer, both in terms of capability and comfort, and even in size. And looking at the outside of it, there are some of those styling cues that really connect it back to the previous Jeeps. Got the 7-slot grille, like kind of how the prow comes over a little bit on the front, looks really tough. LED headlamps, chrome tow hooks. Again, this is one of the more upscale Overland editions, so it looks really nice. 18-inch alloy wheels. And from the side profile, again, you kind of get that traditional Jeep look. Definitely looks like a Grand Cherokee, but in the back you get a little more of the connection to the old Grand Wagoneers too. It's a little bit longer. This is the L edition, which means it has the third row seat. First time that's ever been available in the Grand Cherokee. If you wanted a third row before, you had to buy the Dodge Durango, which was essentially the same vehicle underneath with a third row. But this is a really wide, long, very roomy inside 3-row SUV. So come around the back. Power hatch. And we've got the third row down now. This has the twin captain's chairs in the middle row. Third row's down. As you can see, a lot of space back here. You know, some of the SUVs, especially even the Grand Cherokee, when you had the back seats up, you didn't have a lot of space between the back of the back seats and the hatch. Here, tons of space. And if you need to get real adults in there, it's actually big enough to get 2 humans in the third row very comfortably. A little bit of underfloor storage, very nice. Subwoofer. But I just think they've done a really nice job with this. The interior of the last generation Grand Cherokee was always one of my favorites of any SUV. And I think designers did a very nice job integrating all the latest technology into a cabin that still feels very upscale with some traditional elements too. I like the wood grain on the dash. It's not real, but it looks very nice. The stitched coverings, everything's padded. I like the nice thick leather seats as well. These are heated and ventilated. You've got heated seats in the middle row, automatic climate control front and rear, dual zone here, dual zone in the middle row as well, heated leather wrapped steering wheel. Everything feels very nice. I even like the black surrounds. And I kind of like the screen, how it just kind of flows down through the dashboard and just looks kind of sits proud to the dash. Looks very nice there too. And one of the things that Chrysler's always done, at least in the last decade or so, is their infotainment controls are very easy to use. You can use the touch screen, and you guys got nice, easy to use icons down below. Your home button comes to all the different functions, media. You can get to satellite radio through here as well. You can connect Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You've got Wi-Fi, and you've got USBs down below. So you can connect to this pretty much any way you want to. Comfort sheet, here you go. It's a little bit slow to respond, but there it goes. All the climate controls are here. You can even control the heated and ventilated seats individually here, heated steering wheel. So you can go through all those functions, nav, phone connections, vehicle, apps, all here. Or you can voice control it, and that works pretty well. Or down below, they've got redundant functions, buttons and knobs for the key functions. So you got a proper volume and tuning knob, which I think is really nice. And this is what I always have said car makers should just do. Make it look high-tech, make it look nice, but gosh dang it, have a volume and tuning knob so you can reach down when you're driving through traffic and scroll through and it'd be easy. And these are nice, they feel metal, they feel expensive, they work well. Also got the redundant seat controls here, redundant climate controls for key functions. So control however you want. You do it touchscreen, you can do it by voice, or you can do it with buttons below. Moving on a little bit further, you've got wireless phone charging, power outlet here, and then here in the center, I like the nice, this is actually metal, you can hear it kind of clanging. This is the gear selector. I think this is cool, very easy to use. Button here to change the modes. You've got rock, sand, mud, snow, auto, and sport. I have an auto right now. And this just reconfigures the powertrain for different conditions. Sand and mud, snow, it'll let it spin a little bit more because it will, so you don't get stuck. Some others, but it just controls the powertrain a little bit different. Over here, this has the air suspension system on it, and you can select your ride height from here. So this is kind of the normal get in and out height. It'll lower down the interstate, or it can rise up if you want to do some serious off-roading. But again, it's just everything's easy to use. Nice wide touch screen or a heads-up display out in front of me. The flat screen down below for the instrument cluster, reconfigurable. Right now I've got the tach and the speedometer and navigation in the middle, but you can configure it all pretty much any way you want to. But it's just really comfortable. I like it. Again, the middle row, the back row, third row all have plenty of room for real human beings. Multi-adjustable headrest. You got the long sunroof. And this also has the Macintosh audio system, which I think sounds really good too. And on top of all that, all the crash avoidance systems. You get the forward collision alert with auto brake, lane keep assist, blind spot warning, rear cross path detection, and also has adaptive cruise control with lane centering. So pretty much the full suite you'd expect on a luxury SUV. The thing I like the most about the last generation Grand Cherokee was just that heavy German feel. It felt like 3 dump trucks couldn't move it off course. So I really liked that a lot, and I was really apprehensive about getting this one. Because the thing I knew is that it wasn't going to share architecture with a Mercedes SUV, it was going to share architecture with an Italian SUV, specifically the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. But at the end of the day, I think that's what makes this different and also very nice. It feels lighter, it feels a little sportier, it feels a little more athletic, even though it's a substantially bigger vehicle. It rides on an air suspension system, does a good job of providing a smooth road ride on the highway, but you can also raise it up to do off-roading. So I think it's a nice feature for people who use it as a luxury vehicle, also nice if you're going to do some serious off-roading with it. But the engine choices, you can get a 3.6 liter V6. We decided to go ahead and opt for the 5.7 liter Hemi V8. It delivers 357 horsepower, 390 pound-feet of torque. Rounds that to the full-time all-wheel drive system through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy, as you'd expect for a big luxury SUV, is not the best. Just city, you're looking at 14 miles per gallon, 22 out on the highway. But overall, I mean, I think it's a very nice vehicle. I think it's very maneuverable. I think it's very easy to drive, plenty of power, rides nice. And again, if I had any apprehensions about it not sharing so much with the Germans, I think that's turned out okay too. Well, the Grand Cherokee now speaks with more of an Italian accent than a German accent, but I think most Americans are going to find that it's a better vehicle for the American market. It's longer, you can get a third row, it's wider, it's more comfortable, and it just feels a bit lighter and just a little bit easier to maneuver when you're driving on the interstate or even parking it in town. Overall, I think they did a really good job. So let's talk about price. The Grand Cherokee L Edition starts just under $40,000. This one fully equipped, $68,365. Well, next week on another fun car. Until then, storm forward.